Hello and welcome. Yeah, you're gonna get the funny look right now because I am still numb from my dental work that I had done today. But that's why I want to talk to you. So I'm Rochelle Richard, and I have half my mouth is numb still, and I'm hungry, but I'm waiting. So I those of you who follow me, who have been a part of my journey for quite some time, know how much I love the signs and synchronicities, because especially right now where it's so chaotic and it's so challenging to really find something to believe in, to find some reassurance when it feels kind of hopeless. It's so funny. Oh my goodness, right now when it can feel kind of hopeless. And that's another thing, is you get to choose to stay in that space of looking in the place where it feels like there's no support, where we are in this all alone, where the universe has abandoned us, right? It can feel that way. I got that, right? And that is this whole hills and valleys, especially when we've grown up believing that people come into our lives and then they abandon us. This is so challenging to talk and watch myself right now. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So it can be so challenging to find hope in this darkness where it can feel sometimes, right? Ask. That's what I'm going to tell you, is ask the universe. So I told about last week how I had asked, is RV my twin flame, and is this the path I'm really supposed to be going down? Even though it's exciting, it's exhilarating, it's refreshing, it's empowering, our inner doubts, right? Like to crush that. So you have a vision, there's something you desire, but there is also this other part of you telling you that it can't happen, it's impossible, I don't know how it's going to happen, I don't have enough money. One of my things is traveling to be with my twin, or him coming here from India when they're not doing visas, and Indian visas are suspended to go visit. So that really triggered my shadow to where, oh, it's hopeless, and of course I can't go, so that just shows I don't get to do and have anything I want. Which for me, as a leader, as a coach who teaches this, talk about a conflict to say, wait a minute, I was so sure that this was how it worked because I watched it all the time. And I used all these signs and synchronicities to really support me in the outcome that I desired. And that was my trip to India to meet my twin 2 years ago this month in January. So it's a lot of when you're stepping out of that box, when things look so impossible, that's what faith is about. You know, a belief in the unseen. I never would have imagined I would be going to India, okay? Yet I did, all right? And I never imagined I would be a self-love empowerment coach, yet here I am. Or that I would believe in twin flames or any of these things, but yet here I am. So it's really looking at that inner knowing of the experience that I've come to, the understanding that I've gained through experience. That's what I'm looking for. I think all of this is kind of getting to me a little bit here. With that said, so back to the whole dentist and signs and synchronicities. So with all of the chaos that's been happening in this world, as I've said, it's triggered my shadow. Very much the feeling abandoned, the feeling like, well, there's no point to it. You know, my mind is trying to tell me that, well, people just want to give away their power. So what purpose do I serve then as a self-love empowerment coach? Because people don't want to be empowered. They want to give it away and be told what to think, say, believe, and do. So that is just all related to the, you know, I'm a mistake. I serve no purpose here, right? Which is so not true. I know there are so many of you out there who have said so often to me, thank you so much for what you do. I needed to hear this today. You are an inspiration. There are those goddesses who have been with me before I went to India, before I met my twin flame, who have been along on this journey with me all this time and have watched, and just in their own lives, so much has changed and they've been reclaiming their power as well. And I'll get random messages in my DM talking about how I just was on my heart to reach out to you today to thank you for what you've taught me, for how you have led the way for me to reconnect with my power. So one of these big ways that I do is through signs and synchronicities. It is one of the most simple ways that you can really open yourself up to receive, first of all, but number two, to recognize that staying in here isn't good. It's not good. And even for myself, with all of this chaos that's been happening, I've been up here a little bit more than I should, right? Which is where we end up amplifying the hopelessness, the I don't get to be doing half what I want. See, here's proof. But what you look for is what you find. So again, in this whole massive, major transformation for myself, as I'm sure you are too, humanity literally is going through a massive transformation right now. So I got to stop talking here sooner rather than later because I can feel it in my mouth here. But today I went up to pay for today's half of my procedure that I'm having done on my mouth. And I've always been a cash girl. Like, I will take money out and save it in cash. But that's my old way, cash in hand. And so I had so much saved, because that's the other way. One of the things I save is I divvy things up for myself. And when I walked up there, she tells me what my total was for today's portion of the procedure. And I had to say to her, wait, what? Say that again? I kid you all not. So what is my number one twin flame number? 717. I kid you not. And that was not what my total was supposed to be. It was supposed to be higher than that. Well, she tells me your balance is 717.46, and I went, what? And sure enough, that's what it was. And this comes after this phase of really feeling that hopeless and feeling discouraged by humanity, discouraged by my twin, with where he is in his journey, and with where I am in mine. I'm judging my own self, goddess. And it's so fascinating that we do this, and as a result of that judgment, we keep ourselves small. We hold ourselves back from shifting into this next and better version of ourselves. And even I have been doing that. And that is, I really wanted to share that with you. I really want you to recognize that at no point in your journey do you reach a point where it's like, okay, I'm done. I've done it all. I'm all healed. No more challenges. No more growth. No. No. Look at it as though it's like a video game, kind of. Every time you you learn and integrate a lesson, you go to the next level. So you get more challenges that in some ways may seem a little bit more challenging, but that's simply because you're in a new place, you're in a new space. And so in that new space, this is why I come back to my signs and synchronicities, because that new space is outside the comfort zone, which can be scary as shit. It can't. And we need that reassurance to know that the universe does have our backs, because it does. All right. So I needed something that random, that of all the numbers that would be my total for today, and it wasn't even the quoted amount, that was what it was. And technically my balance would have been $727, but I had a $10 credit from my last appointment on my account, which is what made it, I'm like hoping I'm not biting my cheek, which is what made it $717 today, which is again such a profound number in my journey, but something that I know I needed today of all days, especially when going to the dentist, is probably my least favorite things. Quite honestly, some of the shit that I've been through in my former life as a pimped out, drug addicted prostitute, domestic abusive relationships and such things, that's tough. Dentist or, in fact, I even, for the first time in a while today, when she first numbed my mouth, I actually was on the verge of I had to calm myself out of a panic attack, and I don't remember the last time I had a panic attack. it was a long time ago, and I wasn't full blown, but it was just that space of I'm watching myself and I'm seeing all these fears and all of this dark, this inside me come up, and it just it's amazing the shit we put ourselves through. But using my techniques, my practices and such, I calmed the tears, I calmed down, and everything ended up being fine. I mean, I'm sitting here talking to y'all, on a video, all right? But I remind you, goddess, you're not alone. And to make sure, ask the universe for signs, all right? Because it's not just going to stop with one. Like I said, I asked this a couple days ago. In fact, last week. But it was a very blatant sign. 717 on the license plate right next to my car. Parked next to me today. Hello, 717. Something else I also do in my coaching is I help for you to clarify what maybe some numbers would be. 717 I know is my twin flame number. It's very much, and then come to find out, I found out later, it is a twin flame number. I was like, oh, really? Okay. But then I have other numbers, other angel numbers that have special meanings to me because of what my experience is. So when a loved one transitions, the time of transition, their date of transition, whether it's a human loved one or a pet, because I have several animal babies that have transitioned that are spirit guides for me that help to guide me. So that's it. I'm wrapping it up. I swear I need to stop here, okay? But I love talking about these angel numbers and these signs and synchronicities, because it's not just angel numbers. There's so much more. So I encourage you to begin a conversation with the universe, to actually ask the universe for a sign. Say, all right, okay, so Coach Rochelle says I gotta do this. So, show me a sign, or like I asked, is RV my twin flame? And I let it go because I actually had other things that distracted me. That's going to be the key, goddess. Don't become obsessed about it. Ask, let it go, because I wasn't looking for signs this morning. I was in a funk. And then it was also raining here, and I was just in a funk. And I did not see that coming today. Once you open that door, things start to flow in. And that includes your abundance. That includes your desires. All right? Dear Goddess, the power is and always has been in your hands, because it's always been inside you. Rochelle Richard, guiding you into and through finding your power in every moment. Namaste.